More than 2 years after Matthew Perry's sudden death shocked so many, the first of 5 people convicted in connection to his overdose has now faced justice. Dr. Salvador Plasencia seen arriving to hear his fate.
What do you think your sentencing would be justified for today? Do you have any comment you would like to add?
Perry's mother and stepfather walking hand in hand to face Plasencia, the judge issuing a 30-month sentence in federal prison for 4 counts of distribution of ketamine, plus fines and 2 years of supervised release.
He sat looking at the judge through much of it, but he was constantly dabbing his face. It looked like he was sweating, but he was also crying. He would dab his eyes as well.
He's also lost his license, his clinic, his practice. And so the judge is going to take all of that and put on top of that a sentence that sends a memo that if you are a doctor, you take that oath to protect, and you violate that in a criminal way that harms someone and potentially, if not actually, leads to their death, this is the sentence you're looking at. This is the type of punishment you'll receive.
The disgraced doctor is considered by prosecutors to be one of the ringleaders in Perry's death, pleaded guilty to the charges this past July. Among the damning evidence, investigators uncovered shocking text messages from Plasencia.
They write, quote, "I wonder how much this moron will pay."
Often we don't hear a defendant wanting to speak at their sentencing, and he did want to say something, and he actually spoke directly to Matthew Perry's family. He took responsibility for this, saying that he had done wrong and that he knew he did wrong.
Overnight, Perry's family releasing victim impact statements. His mother, Suzanne Morrison, and his stepfather, Dateline correspondent Keith Morrison, calling the defendants greedy jackals, saying Plasencia is among the most culpable of all, writing, quote, "No one alive and in touch with the world at all could have been unaware of Matthew's struggles, but this doctor conspired to break his most important vows."
He sat listening to all of these victim impact statements as family members got up. They spoke directly to him, and something we don't always see a defendant do. He looked directly back at them, and they made eye contact, and he cried during it. And Matthew Perry's mom got up and said, "I am the mother. Look at me. I am his mother." And they cried at each other.
Requesting 2 additional units and a supervisor respond to Bluesdale Drive.
The beloved actor's death rattled Hollywood and beyond in October of 2023.
We're learning more about Perry's final hours.
Known around the world as Chandler Bing on Friends.
I'm Chandler. I make jokes when I'm uncomfortable.
He brilliantly brought to life this character of Chandler Bing, who was this really funny guy next door kind of character.
For 10 seasons on the show, some say Perry made it look so easy.
While he was trying to make television happen, and in some cases movies happen, he was going through the darkest of times.
In one of his final interviews, he told Diane Sawyer about the substance abuse disorder that would hold him in its grasp until the very end.
How will we know when you're in trouble, when you're not okay?
If I say, I'm just going to chill alone at home tonight. And part 2, the other thing, is if I ever say I'm cured.
Struggling with drugs, alcohol, and ultimately, ketamine, a powerful drug sometimes legally prescribed for mental health treatments.
Matthew Perry sought treatment for depression and anxiety and went to a local clinic where he became addicted to intravenous ketamine. When clinic doctors refused to increase his dosage, he turned to unscrupulous doctors who saw Perry as a way to make quick money.
His demise ultimately exposed an elaborate web of death. Doctors and dealers allegedly distributing at least 70 vials of ketamine, which prosecutors say cost Perry more than $60,000 in the final month of his life.
We charged 5 defendants in this matter. These defendants took advantage of Mr. Perry's addiction issues to enrich themselves.
The defendants also include Dr. Mark Chavez from San Diego.
Do you have any remorse about what's been going on?
Kenneth Iwamasa, Perry's live-in personal assistant, and Eric Fleming, a former movie producer turned drug middleman. All 3 were the first to plead guilty in the case.
At least 3 of the 5 co-defendants very early on decided to participate in the investigation and lend their information to prosecutors in terms of going after others in this case.
The alleged ringleaders were Dr. Plasencia, who worked out of a strip mall urgent care in upscale Calabasas, and Jasveen Sangha, whose customers allegedly dubbed her the ketamine queen. Sangha posted photos on social media depicting her high-end lifestyle. My colleague Matt Gutman spoke with U.S. Attorney Martine Estrada last year.
Do you know why she was given the name ketamine queen?
One can infer based on the fact that she sold 50 vials in 2 weeks to Mr. Perry, very large amount, and that when we searched her residence, we found 80 vials of ketamine, in addition to methamphetamine, cocaine, and other drugs as well.
Plasencia was introduced to Matthew Perry in September of 2023, about a month before the actor's death, through a patient who told him Perry was a high-profile person who could pay thousands in cash for ketamine treatment.
The facts are that he bought vials at $12, resold them to Matthew Perry at $2,000, that he taught an assistant how to administer this ketamine illegally, that there's a flurry of text messages where he's going back and forth talking with an associate saying, how much money can we get out of him, treating Matthew Perry like their own ATM.
According to his plea agreement, the last time Plasencia administered ketamine to Perry was October 12th, when Perry's blood pressure spiked and caused him to freeze. Still, Plasencia says he left additional vials at the house for Iwamasa to administer. Prosecutors say Plasencia did not provide the lethal dose of ketamine that killed Perry on October 28, 2023, but he did provide the syringe that was used. Attorneys for Plasencia released a statement saying he accepts the sentence with humility and deep remorse, adding the mistakes he made over the 13 days during which he treated Mr. Perry will stay with him forever. Plasencia opting to be remanded straight into custody today.
He stood up, took off his belt, put his hands behind his back, and they put him into handcuffs right then and carried him out. His mom was audibly sobbing through all of this.
Morrison speaking after court, reacting to the sentence.
Look, it's a tragic story, and, sometimes apparently nice guys do bad things, and the legal system has to take account of it.
The fatal dose was provided by Sangha, the so-called ketamine queen, and Fleming. Sangha was the last of the defendants to plead guilty this past September. Her lawyer, Mark Garagos, maintains she never met Perry, but accepts responsibility.
She feels horrible, and she's felt horrible since day one.
Sangha faces the highest maximum sentence, with a potential for 65 years, and is scheduled to be sentenced next year.
Much like a chessboard, all eyes are going to be on the queen, the ketamine queen, as to what her prison sentence will be, the person who ultimately gave that deadly dose to Matthew Perry.
Our thanks to Trevor. For much more on this story, watch Impact by Nightline's episode, What Happened to Matthew Perry, now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu.